you really don't need to know that right now. This is protect the shoulder, protect the chest, protect the head. These are the three we're going to concentrate on, okay? Now, here's my center line. I'm going to start from a guard position. If someone cuts at my chest, what I want to do is just cover that line like so. If someone cuts at my shoulder, I just want to move from center and deflect it around me. If someone cuts to my head, I want to lift and provide this wall of steel for myself. Now let's talk about that. I like to utilize skeletal alignment for my strength instead of muscle, okay? Most people like to chase the blade. This gets very dangerous because it's very easy to feint you or make a false attack, and when you commit, if you commit early, you've opened a door for me to walk right through and just cut you to ribbons, okay? So what I want to do is make the smallest movement I possibly can and wait for as long as I possibly can until I'm absolutely sure that's your real attack, and then I defend. Now, we talked about skeletal alignment. Great advantage to a saber or a cutlass is that you have a hand guard. Think of this as a shield. I want my hand behind the shield, I want my forearm and elbow behind my hand, behind the shield, and I want my body behind that. And you'll notice with this construction, because I'm in this three-quarter stance, in my natural arm guard stance, all I need to do is move this over about 45 degrees. So I move from here to here, I have 45 degrees here and 45 degrees here. This sets up an angle that deflects the energy away from me. Plus, because I have my elbow behind my hand, I have the strength of my skeleton, and that energy will dissipate throughout my whole body and keep me nice and alive and relaxed so that I can respond immediately with a counterattack, okay? That's true in this one. 3, drop the hand, move out 45 degrees. Now, a lot of people only move to here. This is not a very powerful parry because all of the energy is focused in one small area, my wrist and my thumb. But if I bring this back here, so my elbow is behind my hand, and pivot over 45 degrees, like so, now I have the strength of my skeleton, and nothing's going to come through that. You've created a wall of steel, straight across to 4 and straight up to 5. 5 is a little tricky. Most people do this. They pull this back towards their face. Bad for 2 reasons. One, you're inviting the weapon to get closer to you, plus with your elbow drifting out here, you have no skeletal alignment. Think in terms of if you were making a cut yourself to the outer shoulder and a cut came to your head, you would simply bend your arm. You would lift and deflect the energy up and over your head. This is the position you want. So you're now the distance of your upper arm forward with your elbow behind your hand, and you'll notice this slight angulation. Okay, and to drop from here, there would be my 4 and straight across to 3. Let's look at that again. 4, pivoting. If anything's in the right place, I don't move it. This is a lesson in minimalism. Do as little as possible. Drop down to my 3, straight across to 4, straight up to 5 with this forward. These are your basic parries. We'll now demonstrate them in action and a counterattack following a successful defense. Let me see if I can simplify this for you just even a little bit more. Here's our center line. Okay, when I come up against an opponent, I want to get my blade out in front of me. The sword is always in front of me, whether I'm attacking or defending. When I think about defending, I think about standing in a doorway. I'm going to step back inside the door, and anything that comes at me, I'm simply going to deflect into the door jamb. Nothing will pass through this doorway that I don't want. Thank you, Lynn. Lynn's going to cut to my outside shoulder, and I'm going to parry 3. Now, you'll notice with my elbow behind my hand, I have set up this 45-degree angle position. Okay? If Lynn were to try to thrust me from here, you notice the closer he gets, the farther he's deflected away, because I'm on an angle, because my elbow is set up this 45-degree angle. If Lynn were to pull through to try to slash me, because I'm the distance of my forearm behind the blade, he can't reach me. Okay? Same thing if he cuts to my chest. Here. Now you'll notice because I'm in this 3/4 position, I only have to parry so that the inside of my guard is even with the outside of my body. This doesn't help me at all. As a matter of fact, if Lynn pulls through here slowly, well, there's a nice big target there. But from here, if he tries to thrust forward, again, the angle sets up, it deflects the blade farther away. If he tries to pull through, it doesn't matter. I don't have to adjust. I can keep my movement small and very easy to recover from. If Lynn fakes to the outside and goes to the inside, easy. If he comes up to my head, that's all I have to do. Okay? You notice how Parry 3. If I'm cutting here and he comes to my head, I'm going to leave my upper arm where it is, and then when he cuts my head, I'm simply going to lift. Parry 3 again. Notice how I take his energy and deflect it up and over, and now I'm absolutely ready to come back with a very fast riposte or counterattack. Okay? So what I want you to see is, on guard, Lynn. Let's split this line. There you go, good. I'm going to cut your chest. So if I come in here, Lynn parries 4. Perfect. Now you notice his elbow is behind his hand. The inside of his blade is even with the outside of the body. Because of this angle that he's set up, the closer I get, the farther I'm away. And if I pull through, he's not there because he's the distance of his forearm behind his blade. Parry 3. Good, same thing. Now, most people, this is about the position they'll parry. And this is pretty close. This will stop most stuff. But if I really hit hard, Lynn made the adjustment automatically. If I hit hard, what's going to happen is I'm going to crash his parry, unless his elbow is behind his hand. So allow this to come out just a little bit. Allow the elbow to be behind the hand. Now, I can hit quite firmly. I'm not going to come through that. He has a wall of steel, and he set up those angles. Okay, on guard, and parry 5. Same thing here. If he was to cut my shoulder, good. Now, from here, his upper arm is already in the right place. So if he simply bends and releases his fingers slightly so his elbow can drop underneath his hand, you notice there's nothing there for me to hit. Not here, not here, not here. Out there, he doesn't care about. He's not there. If I come here, and because of this angle, because his elbow's behind his hand, the closer I get, the farther I am away. And if I pull through here, I can't hit anything. If he lets his elbow drift out, notice how this is going to bring the blade closer to him. He's lost his skeletal alignment. Plus, if I pull through, do the bad parry again. If I pull through this, I'm going to get a piece of his body. Okay? So you want to be out here. Cut my shoulder again, Lynn. Good. Now from here, just bend your arm. How fast is that? Okay? And then he's going to be set up for his counterattack. Thank you, Lynn.